Do you feel that the government of the day is paying enough attention to this? Of course, they'll tell you that education remains the biggest spend in the budget at over 700 billion shillings annually. And even the promises of employment of over 100,000 teachers is there and bandied around. Yet we see these challenges. This is a HR, this is a human resource that drives education. The kind of problems we've just had, do you feel the government is paying enough attention to this sector as opposed to others?
So thank you, Ndimuli, for having us. I got to start by saying, in a working economy, education remains to be the last line of defense. So that in an event whereby we have a term, for example, starting in a chaotic manner like this one is starting, it got to worry every one of us. As to whether the government is giving enough attention, my answer is in negative. It's not, for sure. We're in a state whereby our education, just like any other sector and space, has been over-politicized, I would say. This is to say, serious matters that should be conversed in boardrooms are not being conversed either over the cars, on sunroofs and those kind of things. And it makes everyone who cares, like you and I and others, to worry about the future. Because remember, education is where we have everything developed for the future. This is where we have our human capital being developed. Now, when teachers who are main, I would call them part of the main stakeholders, make such concerns, and they don't look like they're being given enough attention, it got to worry us as a country. We had a whole holiday where these things should have been talked about and probably exhausted. And as Mwalim says, they should have been, the stakeholders should have been brought together, have a sitting in a boardroom and do all these things. But that has not been the case. So it's a worrying trend, I would say. A really worrying trend.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Isaac, it calls to question the role that the unions play, KNUT and KUPPET, because historically we've seen the kind of impact that they've had. They could simply shut down the entire nation